After beating its biggest rival for the first time in 5 years, the St. Mary's Knights looking for win number two in a row, their first win streak of the season at the Shadow Mountain Matadors alongside Chris Ferendorf. I'm Alex Coyle. Chris, pretty big win on Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, such a huge win for the St. Mary's basketball team and for the St. Mary's community, rallying behind, that team win against their rivals, the Brophy Broncos. Like you said, they hadn't played them in 3 years. They hadn't beat them since the 2015-16 season, so it's always a good win to pick up versus Brophy.
And Bear Cherry, the man at the tip, and just corralled by Shadow Mountain. He had 15 points and 12 rebounds, 12 big rebounds, that's for sure, for a double-double against the rival Brophy Broncos. Shadow Mountain starts with the basketball, shoots one, and that one's short, but a rebound attempt by Garrison Phelps. He knocks it out of bounds. Let's get some starters. First for the Shadow Mountain Matadors, the home team wearing white. Kalen Johnson, Cash Scott, Nick Turner, Elijah Cole, and Evan Garber. Get some St. Mary's starters for you here in a bit. They're wearing their green jerseys, the Knights, with white lettering and numbering. You have Jeremiah Cherry, Jason Fontanet, Garrison Phelps, Fune Dekure, and Jacob Estrella getting his first start of the year. No KP Brown tonight. Phelps looks for three, back iron no good. Rebound by Shadow Mountain. They pass it back and forth before finding a guard to bring it up the floor.
Without KP Brown tonight, the team's starting point guard and senior leader, Garrison Phelps is going to look to pick up some of that slack, some of that offensive slack, as we saw in that first possession there.
Step back jumper by Johnson, airballed up the floor. Dekure for a slam. It's 2-0 St. Mary's.
And you're going to see a lot of that tonight, just the fast break action against the Shadow Mountain team that picked up their first win just a couple of days ago versus Moon Valley, a 2-point victory.
Nice job of helping off the screen by Dekure, and a little switch down in the low post, kick out for three. That one is good. Shot made by Elijah Cole. It's 3-2. Jason Fontanet brings up the ball for St. Mary's. His averages 12.3 points a game. Entry pass into Bear Cherry. Can't hit the skyhook. Nice rebound by Dekure. Can't finish, but he's fouled. He'll head to the free throw line for two.
And in 2 nights ago's game, versus the Brophy Broncos, Fune Dekure, he was really a lot more aggressive offensively than we saw him in the previous two games versus Sunny Slope and Thunderbird. When he's gotten involved early tonight, one of the strengths we've talked about multiple times is their offensive rebounding and their big men, helping with that.
First free throw from Doucouré, short. Doucouré coming into this ball game 4 of 8 from the free throw line for 50% on the season. 6 minutes, 36 seconds left in this first quarter. Doucouré at the line to try to tie it up. Next one up, no good. Rebound by Cole. He'll quickly head the other way and push it up. Cash Scott back up to Cole, and they'll reset. Cole guarded by Doucouré up top. Fontenette guarding Scott, back into the corner, makes a man fall. Floater, short, no good. Rebound Fontenette, he'll head the other way, Phelps up to Estrella, lays it up and in, and it's a 4-3 St. Mary's lead. That's Estrella's 4th point of the season, had 2 against Brophy in his first game back. And a steal by Garrison Phelps. He's going to drive up the floor. Off the glass, no good. Rebound, tip in. Couldn't tell who got the finger on it. And Phelps with the rebound up and fouled. The putback attempt was Jason Fontenette. And St. Mary's to the line to try to extend this lead.
And Alex, like you mentioned earlier, St. Mary's went undefeated in Skyline 4A region last year. That would include 2 victories versus the Shadow Mountain Matadors. The last time they lost to Shadow Mountain was twice in 2019 when star guards Jalen House and Javon Blackshear were both on the team. They are both currently guards for Arizona State University and Grand Canyon University. That was also head coach Mike Bibby's last head coaching year at Shadow Mountain.
Second free throw, no good. Rebound to Doucouré, can't put the putback up. Phelps did get 1 free throw, though. It's a 5-3 lead for the Knights. Cole with the basketball, gets a screen, picks up his dribble at the top of the key. Finds Scott. Lots of on-ball screens for this Shadow Mountain offense. Get one more there. Tries to step back, didn't shoot the ball though, does Cole. Wayward pass corralled by Scott. Scott, top of the key, 5:10 remaining in this first quarter. He'll back it up and reset. Estrella on him. Now Jeremiah Cherry guarding Cole. Step back 3, short. Rebound to Doucouré. Garrison Phelps going to head up the right side. Bear Cherry, good positioning, goes up, no foul. Foul called on the back by the back referee and 1. It's 7-3. Bear Cherry to the line to try to make it 8.
Yeah, and that's such a good post up by Bear Cherry on the smaller Shadow Mountain defender, number 0, Kalen Johnson, recognizing the smaller defender on the fast break, turning around and getting a good post-up seal on him for the easy 2 points.
And it looks like we're going to get a 30-second timeout from Shadow Mountain. And St. Mary's hasn't looked too clean thus far to start this ball game, but still with the 7-3 lead.
Yeah, against some of these less tougher opponents, especially in region play, Coach Damon Lopez would like his team to maybe slow down a little bit and not play too fast at the start of games. They're used to playing with a really fast break offense, really quick fast break offense versus some of these lesser opponents, but they also run the risk of throwing some wayward passes, like you said earlier, and some easy turnovers.
7-3 the score in favor of the St. Mary's Knights. 4 minutes and 53 seconds left on the game clock in the first quarter. Bear Cherry at the line for an attempt at a 3-point play. Bends at the knees, free throw short, rebound to Kalen Johnson of Shadow Mountain.
So that's 3 missed free throws to start the game for the Knights. That's not something any team likes to see, especially early in the games when you're trying to get out to a quick lead. Hopefully the Knights will be able to settle down and connect on some of those free throws going forward.
And there's the turnover as Elijah Cole double dribbles. St. Mary's coming into today shooting 66% from the line, so that's definitely going to have to get better.
Yep, especially versus the tough competition. Coming up, they have Peoria, who they lost to in the 4A semifinal last year. In a couple of weeks, they have Mountain Point, the number 1 overall ranked team in the Super 10. They have to make their free throws, especially early in the games versus some of their tougher opponents to stay in the games.
Fontenette catches the cross-court pass, drives toward the free throw line, makes a tough jumper. 9-3, St. Mary's leads by 6, 4 minutes left in the first.
And we see a full court press coming out of that last 30-second timeout from Damon Lopez. You know, it's easily broken right there by number 0, Kalen Johnson, for a layup.
That's Johnson's first 2 points of the day. If you look at who's on the floor for St. Mary's, nobody more than 2 points, but everybody's scored. Estrella for 3, he's open. That one rattles out. Nice putback, doesn't even land by Jeremiah Cherry. That's his 4th point of the game. It's 11-5. Break the press easily again, go up for a layup up and under. Bad decision as Jeremiah Cherry gets the rebound. Estrella going to head up, dribbling with his right hand. Fontenette, back up Estrella. Doucouré going to drive, gets the ball stripped, and a little turnover there. Too careless with the ball, driving through the middle. Up and down, Shadow Mountain tries a teardrop in the lane, no good. Slow to get up is Doucouré, that's just because he's a big man. Phelps, a nice nifty athletic finish, 13-5. It's an 8-point lead.
And that's something we're going to see more often than not versus some of these region teams, is Phelps getting out in the open court and making some real athletic and nice finishes.
Outside shooting for Shadow Mountain pretty much non-existent except for their first shot of the game. Air ball corralled by Fontenette. Now St. Mary's setting up their offense. Nice entry pass, easy baby skyhook, and it's a 10-point lead with 2 minutes, 23 seconds left in the first.
Yeah, Jeremiah Cherry, he's just been awesome so far in these last 2 games. It seems like it's carried over so far, as there's another 3-point brick from the Matadors. You know, you might think they want to slow down the game a little bit on the other end.
And nothing but net on Fontenette, 17-5. And after the last 2 first quarters that this St. Mary's team has played, they've been held to 9 points in both of them. Now they have 17, still with a quarter of the quarter remaining. Now we're going to get a foul and some substitutions.
And I think one of the main factors in those slow starts, though, compared to tonight's game versus the Matadors is the level of competition. You know, you go from playing the Sunny Slope Vikings, who are the number 2 ranked team in the Super 10, and then the Brophy Broncos, who are always good and a rival. You know, it's not that surprising or that out of the ordinary to see this spike in offensive production for the Knights tonight.
Isaac Mendoza checks in along with Styles Phipps and Seydou Tambora. Shadow Mountain with the basketball, driving baseline, stopping, kicking it out. Nice ball movement from the Matadors. 3 is short. Foul, we're going to go the other way. And drawing the foul was Mendoza.
Yeah, and that's, you know, I keep pointing these things out. If you're the Matadors, if you're Shadow Mountain, you have to want to limit those rebounding, boxing out fouls, right? Especially versus the St. Mary's big men. I know that was Isaac Mendoza there, but it's a little bit surprising to see that happen.
Corner 3, wide open is Mendoza. Just a little long Bear Cherry rebound, goes up. Can't finish, gets his own miss, another miss. That one tipped out of bounds, will stay here with St. Mary's. Cherry a little frustrated with himself, but owning the glass. And we'll update on the foul numbers. 4 fouls for Shadow Mountain, only 1 for St. Mary's.
Yeah, and that missed 3 was Isaac Mendoza. He actually gave me the go-ahead to give a shout-out to my Uncle Chili after every single made 3 this season from him.
And Cherry falls down, looks for the foul call. They'll head the other way. Shadow Mountain does. Probably a good foul called on Isaac Mendoza. That'll send Shadow Mountain to the line, and I believe the shooter will be Elijah Cole.
You know, obviously I'm kind of joking there, Alex, but, you know, I did have a nice Instagram, you know, discussion with Isaac about how awesome, you know, it is that we have the opportunity to not only come to these games, but to also live stream it for all the St. Mary's fans that are watching at home or wherever you are on YouTube.
That's exactly right. First free throw, no good. And checking in for the first time all season is Brendan Lillis. The big man checks in for Jeremiah Cherry. And and Chris, that's exactly right, especially with no away fans in attendance at any game this season. So every road game for St. Mary's can't have any of their own supporters there. And we are glad you're watching on Facebook, or excuse me, on YouTube. Watching along with us. St. Mary's breaks the pressure, elbow jumper. That one's pure. Nice shot made by Mendoza. That's his first 2 points of the game.
He's just got such a silky smooth jumper, as you see a little blocking foul, excuse me, from Styles Phipps, the freshman. But Isaac Mendoza, he's one of the purest shooters, I've seen at St. Mary's recently, and I think, the best three-point shooter on this year's team.
Just under a minute left, 45 seconds to be exact. Elijah Cole with the basketball, gets this one tipped away. He's calling for it back, does get so. Nice defense by Isaac Mendoza. 32 seconds left on the game clock in this first quarter. Drives, kicks out the leg, and high off the glass. 19-8. St. Mary's still up by 11. Fontenette with it on the right wing, loses the basketball, corrals it, keeps the dribble. 15 seconds left in the quarter. Styles Phipps drives to his left, looks to draw contact, high off the glass, no good. Flying in for the rebound. No foul finally is called. Good attempt to grab the rebound by Mendoza, but I believe the foul is going to go on Brendan Lillis, the fourth of the quarter for St. Mary's.
And they have Lillis listed at 6'4". I haven't stood next to him recently for comparison. When obviously he was a freshman when I was a senior at St. Mary's. He must have hit a real growth spurt.
Yeah, looks a lot taller than that, that's for sure. 7 seconds left. Inbound pass goes to Scott in amongst the trees. Rebound attempt by Lillis. Ooh, looked like it was off him, but it'll be St. Mary's basketball. 1.9 left in the quarter. We'll see what they decide to do. They're going to roll the basketball. This is definitely a good play. Styles Phipps going to pick it up. One dribble. Pull up half court for three. No good. Just off the front of the iron. So after 19-8, St. Mary's with a very good quarter.
Yeah, it was a great start for the Knights in that first quarter, but a little bit of a slow start to end the quarter, as they gave up a couple easy transition, quick buckets for the Matadors. They were able to break that press a couple of times and get down the basket. They just weren't able to finish their layups. St. Mary's has all those big men, all that athleticism to challenge the Matador shots, but that'll be something to watch going forward, is how easy will the Shadow Mountain Matadors be able to break the St. Mary's press going forward.
Now we know how much talent is in that first and starting lineup. The lineup number 2 got a lot of playing time there. What did you see from them?
Oh, yeah, and both rotations are extremely talented.
Yeah.
Coach Lopez has mentioned to us multiple times how the second unit has actually defeated the first unit at times in practice, so it would not be surprising to see these second rotation guys like Isaac Mendoza, Brendan Lillis, Seydou Tambora, and even Styles Phipps coming off the bench tonight be productive versus the Matadors.
So St. Mary's will start the second quarter with the basketball and an 11-point lead. Phipps, Lillis, he's going to drive, and about halfway into the lane makes a nice floater for his 2 points of the year. It's a 13-point lead for the Knights.
I told Alex prior to this game, my scouting report on Brendan Lillis, a little bit of James Harden in him. A little bit Harden-esque, he obviously is not going to hit the step backs or have the offensive usage as Harden, but he is a lefty, and like you saw there, he's got some nifty footwork and some crafty floating finishes.
Yeah, nice touch on the finish. That's exactly right. A little bit of a chippy foul there. Some words exchanged after, but that's going to be the first foul on Seydou Tambora. It's the 5th foul of the half on St. Mary's. Good deflection by Styles Phipps there. Dribbling into the corner is Cole. Elijah Cole stops free throw line. Passes down into the corner, back up top with him. He's guarded by Seydou. And now they're going to get a steal all the way up the floor. Left-handed lob off the backboard for the slam. Seydou Tambora from Styles Phipps.
And the craziest thing about that connection right there is they're both underclassmen, Alex. Styles Phipps is a freshman, Seydou Tambora a sophomore. You could see that connection for the next 2 years. Think about that for a second.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Nobody expected that, including myself. Little baseline jumper for Shadow Mountain, no good. Long rebound grabbed by Elijah Cole. Kick out into the corner. Back up top, Cash Scott, he traveled.
You've just got to have some really, just sticking off of that, on that alley-oop play, like such good chemistry between the team, to be able to connect on that off the backboard, 2-hand slam from Seydou Tambora.
Styles Phipps kicks it out to Garrison Phelps for 3, off back iron. Seydou Tambora with the rebound, and actually he's going to kick out to Phelps. after a couple tips. 6.5 minutes left, quarter number 2. Styles Phipps for 3, no good. Rebound bounces around, finally corralled by Nick Turner of Shadow Mountain. 23-8. Nice athletic showing from St. Mary's. They haven't really had to do much in terms of running any offensive sets. Lots of transition off of missed shots from the Matadors. Layup attempt and a foul. It's going to be foul number 2 on Tambora.
And here's just some history on the Shadow Mountain Matadors for any of our fans who haven't paid attention to 4A basketball until recently. Mike Bibby, prior NBA player and U of A Wildcat, was their head coach. At Shadow Mountain, they won 4 consecutive state championships, mainly led by Jalen House and Javon Blackshear most recently. And once Bibby and all these guys graduated, the program just really hasn't been the same.
That's for sure, especially after Mike Bibby wasn't the head coach anymore. Mm-hmm. His first free throw, no good from Cole. And you bring up Javon Blackshear and Jalen House, not Eddie. Yep. Eddie's
His
son,
father.
Jalen, yes. Making impacts on their collegiate teams at the next level in the Phoenix metro area. I can say House had a pretty good game defensively, especially last night against the Cal Golden Bears for ASU. Next one missed. It looks like we're going to get a lane violation, or actually maybe fall out of bounds. Don't know exactly what the call was, but it'll be St. Mary's basketball either way. Garrison Phelps floater good. That one just way too easy. 25-8.
Just no one picked him up in the full court. Phipps passed it to him from about 3/4 court, one dribble. A quick almost layup, it seemed like, although it was a little bit farther than that.
And how about a 3 finally cashed by Cash Scott. Say that 3 times fast. And he tries to get a steal, just frustrated that he knocked it out of bounds. It's only a 14-point lead now after that basket. 25-11, 5:42 left in this first half.
You definitely don't want to relax at all if you're the St. Mary's Knights. And, we've mentioned they have 10 players on the team, so they don't have, as much depth as some of these other teams with 12, 13, 14 players. But, you want the second unit to continue to apply the pressure both in the full court and on the offensive end as we have a foul call on the ground.
That foul is on Shadow Mountain. That'll be their 5th of the half. And you mentioned that St. Mary's depth. They're only playing with 9 today because KP Brown is, I'm sure you can see when the camera is on the offensive half for Shadow Mountain, he's in street clothes today. Mm-hmm. Just a precautionary measure, nothing too big in terms of season-long injuries there. But a 3 from Mendoza, no good. Rebound by Cole. Cole dribbles with his left, almost loses the ball. Into the corner for 3 himself. And a nice rebound by Styles Phipps. Phelps into the lane, gets bumped very hard. And it's an interesting, game today. Only 2 referees, and it seems like, not to harp on them too much, but they've been out of position quite a bit.
Yeah, and we saw the same crew in the JV game prior to this, and they were making calls, from 3/4 court on the other end, a shooting foul, so they've done pretty good so far though tonight, Alex.
They've made the correct call, but it's just the positioning not exactly the greatest. The first free throw from Garrison Phelps goes through. 5 minutes, 12 seconds left in the quarter. But again, back-to-back games for these officials. Maybe not the fleet of foot currently. And there's a steal in the backcourt by Styles Phipps. He lays one up, a lob just out of the reach of Garrison Phelps. He just ran the floor a little too hard. Nice back tap by Phipps again. Phelps, here's a chance for a dunk. Just couldn't corral it and get his footing. Lays it up and in, 29-11.
That's the smart decision, though, for Phelps. You don't want to risk injury, especially when you are not steady on the ground there. Just seemed like kind of an odd step. He wasn't sure where it was.
And the 3rd consecutive turnover that this St. Mary's press has garnered. And guess what? The ball falls in a bucket full of water. And yes, it's a rainy day, very rainy day here in Phoenix, and some leakage from the roof. Ball landed right in that bucket.
See, I didn't even realize that's what those buckets were for, as it looks like we have a couple of
I'd say 6 or 7. Yeah, 7 buckets.
We've got a couple, cracks in the gym ceiling or something there. Not even buckets. We've got ice coolers, recycling bins. Got everything here at Shadow Mountain.
That's not the only thing leaking. The Shadow Mountain defense leaking there. Garrison Phelps for 3. It's a 21-point ball game. That trap again, the St. Mary's press is pretty much the best game it's had on this young season. Game 4 of the year for the Knights. Another steal. Tambora gets the back tap, and Styles Phipps gets ping-ponged between a couple of Shadow Mountain defenders, and he will head to the line. 7th foul on the Matadors.
We've complimented the Knights' full court press and traps multiple times so far. As the refs are taking a little bit longer to figure out, that we've got a free throw to shoot here. But, it was surprisingly effective versus the Brophy Broncos, who are usually, a really good and smart team. It forced, a couple turnovers against them, which kind of surprised me.
Yeah, St. Mary's averaging, in terms of forced turnovers, about 8.5 or 9 turnovers a game. And first free throw by Styles Phipps goes through. Actually, check that. They're averaging 13 turnovers forced a game. Looks like we're going to get some more substitutions. There's some confusion from the scorer's table. 33-11. 4:15 remaining in this second quarter. Make that 34-11. Garrison Phelps already with 12 points in this half, and he's going to pick up a foul. Phelps' previous season high, he had 14 points in each of the first 2 games. He gets his first foul there, but he's well on his way for a season high. Kalen Johnson going to be heading to the free throw line, and the referee tells Garrison Phelps to tuck in his jersey away from the free throw line. So we're going to hold up some free throw attempts here for that. Finally does so. Now we're finally ready to put the first of 2. Actually, it's going to be a 1-on-1. Free throw up, no good. Rebound by Bear Cherry. And he's corralled a ton of those lately. He averages 9 a game.
I'm not sure if you've realized, Alex, but we've now got the St. Mary's starting 5 back in this second quarter with 4 minutes to go.
Phelps wide open 3, doesn't take it. Tried to posterize someone, hard fall, and it's going to go out of bounds, stay with St. Mary's. Just couldn't get to the basket and put that one through, lost it on the way up, but that was a pretty dangerous play for the defender there to get in the camera shot of the poster.
You got to get in, or you got to appreciate the grit and the toughness of number 44, Evan Garber of the Shadow Mountain Matadors, to even attempt to take that charge.
Nice post move by Jeremiah Cherry, and he has got 8 points now just in this first half, well on his way to back-to-back double-doubles. He's got at least 5 rebounds, a 3 way too long, high bounce off of the rim, rebound to Kure. Estrella with the basketball. Be nice to see him to get some playing time, to get in that shape, coming off an injury after the first 2 games. This is his second game back. Phelps, corner 3, Estrella. Short, long rebound for Shadow Mountain. They're going to drive left side, goes up, drawing the foul. Garrison Phelps gets called for it, and it will be Cash Scott to the free throw line.
I'm surprised by that Garrison Phelps attempts to go in there and almost, seems to take, or indecisive on if he's going to take a charge or a block. He didn't really attempt to alter the shot or block it. Then he goes and talks to the ref afterwards. Just an interesting defensive play there from Phelps. That's
exactly right. First free throw good. And we talked about the positioning of the officials earlier, but again, only 2 officials for today. Usually we've seen 3 for the past couple games, St. Mary's wise at least. Another rebound for Jeremiah Cherry, and he gets tripped. Actually, that's Fontanet that gets tripped. He'll head to the line for yet another 1-and-1, and we're going to have pretty much a free throw back and forth for the final 3 minutes, 11 seconds of this half.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of fouls called in these last two. If I was gonna say 2 minutes, but it's probably been actually like 30 seconds. Just back and forth action, like you said, of fouls, free throw line. On each team, as they're both teams have 8 fouls so far. That means that each team on every single foul will shoot a 1-and-1.
And a pretty big number in terms of fouls. That's Elijah Cole's third of this half. He's pretty much their leading scorer. He's got 6.
Half their points.
That's exactly right. Next free throw from Fontenette. That's good. 38-12. And yes, if you're wondering at home, some retro Michigan or University of Michigan throwbacks. Kind of the style for the Shadow Mountain Matadors is there's a carrying violation. Yet another turnover for Shadow Mountain.
So you're talking about the jersey combinations, Alex. What do you think of number 1, Trent Bradford's all pink shoes to go with the uniform today?
And he actually is going to check out. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of a pink accent. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, I enjoy it as well. To each their own. It really stands out here, so at least we'll be able to pick him out of the crowd, that's for sure.
And there's a travel on the Knights. We've seen some interesting shoes this season, that's for sure. I'm sure that won't be the only time. We talk about ASU basketball. A guy like Josh Christopher likes to wear a new shoe each game.
And he even switches at halftime sometimes. Yeah. I saw a picture of his jump balls called.
Nice play by Estrella there to draw that jump ball.
What's it called? His locker. In the ASU locker room, it was pretty much stuffed full with shoes. I believe there were about 20 pairs in there.
Probably more shoes than I've had in my entire life, that's for sure. Chris, I know that's the opposite for you. Oh, here we go. Garrison Phelps with the massive slam. We've seen that before in Game 1 at Thunderbird. More highlights here in the first half today. Very quickly up the floor. Rebound to Kure. We're going to head the other way. Estrella. Out to Phelps for 3, wide open. Bang! He's got 17 in the first half. It's 43-12, still with just over 2 minutes left in this second quarter.
Yeah, I talked about it earlier in the game. The Knights are going to look for him to pick up some of KP Brown's offensive production. He's done a great job getting out in the fast break lanes. He's having some nifty finishes, whether that be dunks or layups, and then spotting up shooting from 3.
Kalen Johnson. Back up top to Cash Scott. Scott has 4 points and 2 fouls. Back into the lane for the man that has 3 fouls. Elijah Cole can't get that one to fall, and I believe that might be his 4th, and we're still in the first half.
Yeah, that's definitely not something you want to see if you're the head coach of the Matadors. Curtis, I'm going to say Millage? How would you pronounce it, Alex? Millage?
Curtis Millage.
But either way, that's not something you'd like to see. We talked about how he scored 6 of the Matadors' 12 points so far in this first half. Like I said, that's half their points so far.
Yeah.
He will be missed.
And he's going to take a seat. Don't know for how long, especially when you leave him in for 2 and 3 fouls to pick up his 4th. And Bradford, the man with the pink shoes, back in. First free throw of the 1-and-1. No good from Decure, but a rebound to Fontenette. Estrella. Back up Fontenette, now left wing for Phelps. Gets it in for Decure, makes a move, and we're going to get an offensive foul. Probably a good call there, a little reckless going in for the contact.
And that's number 30, Fune Decure, who they called the offensive foul on. He's just a freak athlete. I'm not sure if you can tell from the camera, he just looks so much stronger than anyone the Shadow Mountain Matadors has on the court or on their entire team.
St. Mary's still going to bring up that pressure, up by 31. It's been working all day, so why switch? Bradford dribbles himself into the corner. Back out to Cash Scott, and that's not Cash, air ball. With the long rebound, great tip by Bear Cherry. Here we go, Garrison Phelps, windmill, and bang, 45-12, he's got 19.
Bang indeed, Alex. Will you ever get tired of seeing those types of plays from Garrison Phelps in the open court?
The answer to that is no. Driving into the lane, swat attempt, no good. Rebound Goes up, the big man, good effort there. Nick Turner finally puts it back. That's the first time the Matadors have scored in quite some time, 45-14. Estrella, wide open three, passes it up. Back into Bear Cherry, great positioning, almost slammed, got a little bit of contact, no foul call. 40 seconds left, layup off the backboard, no good. Garrison Phelps gonna run, 3-on-3 opportunity. Guard and two bigs, pass tipped, and that's gonna go out of bounds. Stay for St. Mary's, 31.4 on the clock, rest of the half.
You know, the Knights are having fun on the floor as Decore points up to Garrison Phelps after the play that he wanted an alley-oop thrown there. You know, and Garrison Phelps is kind of smiling, you can tell, as he is talking to Fune on the court.
And we're going to get a chance, at least St. Mary's is, for the rest of this game to do stuff like that. Great power dribble, just couldn't get it in. Rebound squirts to Kure. He's got guys all over him, still no call. Ball squirts away. Bear Cherry up and in and one. He'll head to the line. And that is going to be his 10th point of the night. Still 20 seconds left in this first half, 47-14.
Seems like a little bit of a potential makeup call there after, Fune Decore was just surrounded by, I believe, 4 Shadow Mountain players there. Lots of arms in there, and obviously the refs do have a better angle than Alex and I do up here, so I'll trust him on that call. Or on the no call, rather. Excuse me.
That's exactly right. Looks like we had a lane violation on the free throw attempt. It was missed either way. 20 seconds left. Matadors basketball, they'll hold for the final shot. They trail by 33. Trying to possibly cut that deficit to 30 heading into that locker room. Stops, pops. It's going to be a long two. Airball City. Pass all the way up the floor, and that's how the time is going to expire in this second quarter. St. Mary's by 33 heading into the locker room, Chris.
Yeah, and I said prior to the game starting that my main focus, if I was the Knights head coach Damon Lopez, was to tell my team, we've got to get out, we've got to run, and we've got to get out to an early lead so far. And obviously they've done a great job of doing that. The one thing I will say, though, is the Knights have not been making their free throws. I believe Fune Decore has missed, at least a couple, for sure a pair at the beginning of the game. And, they just haven't been connecting there. They could be upwards of 50 points right now if they made a couple of those.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And again, like we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, 66% from the line heading into today. So they have one half to really increase that number, something that they couldn't do in that first. Well, now what about Garrison Phelps, Bear Cherry? Tremendous first halves from them, really keeping that momentum, especially from Jeremiah Cherry against that game against Brophy.
Yeah, and that's been key for the Knights, is Jeremiah Cherry's ability to post up and recognize when he has smaller defenders on him, seal the post up, and then Garrison Phelps and multiple other St. Mary's Knights guards have looked for him in the paint. That's something that Jeremiah Cherry told us after the Brophy game, that during halftime, Coach Damon Lopez told his team to do. As for Garrison Phelps, he's just a freak of an athlete. There's really nothing more you can say than that. He gets out in the open court and he'll finish. He'll get the job done.
And he has gotten the job done today. 19 points at the half for him. We're going to take an 8.5-minute break. Alongside Chris Ferrandorf, I'm Alex Coyle. At the half, the St. Mary's Knights 47, Shadow Mountain Matadors 14. Back here just in time for the second half. Alongside Chris Ferendorf, I'm Alex Coyle. We're at Shadow Mountain High School at the Jerry Connor Gymnasium, the home of the Matadors. And it's been a tough go for Shadow Mountain. They trail 47-14 at the half. And Chris, it's been all St. Mary's so far today.
Yeah, and I talked about what St. Mary's did well in the first half. I'd like to talk about really quick what Shadow Mountain could do better in the second half. You know, they've been really settling for a lot of quick three-point shots, a lot of deep threes and deep mid-range twos. You know, the St. Mary's Knights have all that athleticism to change the the direction of these shots. If I'm Shadow Mountain, maybe settle in your offense a little bit, take some time, and kind of chillax on the three-pointers, especially in the fast break offense.
St. Mary's not chillaxing on the three, and that one's good from Estrella. From beyond the arc, that gives the Knights 50 points and 5 points for number 5, Jacob Estrella.
I've got to give a quick shout out to the Lady Knights basketball team. They won tonight versus Shadow Mountain. Coach Hollerbach has done a great job in her first 2 years at St. Mary's of really turning around the program for the Lady Knights.
That's for sure. Fontanet into the lane, a little floater. That one just rattles out. Rebound tipped by 2 Shadow Mountain players. And Elijah Cole, the man with 4 fouls in this one, but the leading scorer for the Matadors, finally corrals it and immediately turns it over.
Corrals it and then turns it over. It's a funny way of describing the turnover, but that's exactly what happened, And that's just the day, that's how today is gone for the Shadow Mountain Matadors.
That's exactly right. Fontanet with the basketball. St. Mary's slowing it up at least to start this second half. Playing a little inside-out basketball. Finally, Decoure attacks the rim, gets fouled, and pretty much all season long on any move that he makes in low post, he draws a foul.
Yeah, but here's the big thing, though, with Decoure being aggressive and drawing these fouls is he's got to finish and convert the free throws once he draws them. I believe you said earlier he's shooting something like 50%.
Yeah, 4 of 8 coming into today.
Yeah, so, that's big for the Knights, and, we've talked about versus the bigger and the better competition, he's got to be able to knock down some of these free throws in order for the Knights to stay in the games versus, the Peorias, the Mountain Points, the Arcadias coming up on the schedule.
Paradise Honors as well.
Exactly.
Within the next month. The tests, they get harder as the season goes along. They've already had 2 pretty tough ones against Sunny Slope and Brophy. And they're going to get a lane violation, but the free throw goes anyway. 51-14 in favor of St. Mary's. This is a region game, just like the Thunderbird game was, and both of them pretty much blowouts. St. Mary's with another rebound. Estrella looking for a 3, doesn't take it. Almost steps out of bounds and fires one right into the hands of Nick Turner. They're going to head the other way. Cole, left-hand layup, no good. Rebound to Phelps. He's got to be strong with the basketball. Obviously didn't know he was coming in. But again, like you said, against that tougher talent, got to make sure you corral everything.
Oh, for sure. And yeah, like versus these Shadow Mountain, these region teams, you don't want to let up. I know the second half just started, and the Knights are up 51-14, but you really want to make sure that they're staying aggressive the entire game, whether it's the starters or the backups.
Nice pass from the three-point line by Jeremiah Cherry into his fellow big man, Decoure, and he lays it in 53-14. Decoure has 5.
And if you're one of our listeners who's just tuning in to the second half, like our friend Brendan Falk, who just texted us, is the score correct? Yes, the score is correct. It is 53-14 in favor of St. Mary's in this third quarter.
And it's been the reason because of that defense. Here we go, Decoure, slam! And hangs on the rim and gets teched for it. He put an exclamation point on it, that's for sure, for his 7th point. But hung on a little too long for the tech. And if you notice, Jeremiah Cherry jumped with him.
Yeah, that's that's actually the second time this season we've seen a St. Mary's player receive a technical for hanging on the rim after a dunk. The first one was Garrison Phelps. On a miss. On a miss. And I thought he was protecting his landing there. That one was a little bit of a showy type move from Decoure.
Does get the technical, and Elijah Cole makes the first free throw. Makes it a 40-point game. Next one trying to make it 39. That one's good. One foul apiece in this second half. 5:38 remaining in the third quarter.
Hey, slowly but surely, you got to cut down on that lead, Alex. Knocking in both free throws is one way to do that.
You know, they say slow and steady wins the race. We'll see if that theory holds today.
You also got to start off the race, within 3 miles of the other opponent, though.
A little tortoise and hare action, and that'll help the cause.
4-point swing.
Yes, sir. 55-18. Garrison Phelps going to drive baseline. Bad pass, wayward. Thought Fune Dekure was going to attack the lane a bit harder, but it goes towards nobody. Not deflected either, out of bounds. And Matador basketball. Chance to go on a bit of a run for Shadow Mountain. 55-18, 5:09 and counting in this third quarter. Elijah Cole, he's got 4 fouls, but he's played pretty much the entire game. Dribbles between his legs, get that one pass tipped. And corralling it is Scott. Scott guarded by Fontenette. Little dribble handoff action for 3. No good. Long rebound out to Cole. He's going to drive, little floater, and guess what? A 6-0 run, 55-20.
Yeah, you got to keep up that aggression if you're the Knights. A couple offensive rebounds on that possession, just kind of, I wouldn't say sloppy, just kind of tiresome play from the Knights on the defensive end right there.
And a wayward pass into Jeremiah Cherry. Some words between 2 guys in the post there, and a foul on Dekure. And you can see Coach Lopez giving the hands to Jeremiah Cherry, saying, hey, that's all right. We got a big lead here. Let's take a deep breath.
Exactly. The Knights are up 35 points. Nothing, in my opinion, there shouldn't really be anything that can be said from the opposing team to really get in your head at this point. If you're Jeremiah Cherry, you've seen opposing teams do this. Just point up to the scoreboard once, and then that's probably enough. You don't really have to say anything. You just kind of motion up there, and that should be enough for the other team to understand the circumstances of the night. Especially
with a guy that's dominating his opponents like Cherry is really in the past couple games. Free throw up and good by Kalen Johnson. The Matadors in the midst of a 7-0 run here in the middle of this third quarter. There's still 4 minutes, 21 seconds left. Still pretty much the starting lineup on the floor for St. Mary's. Again, no KP Brown tonight. But again, that's just precautionary. Nothing too threatening in terms of a lengthy time on the bench. Gotta make sure he's healthy. Phelps in the corner, back up to Estrella, looks for 3. He's gonna back it down, a little too hot of a pass, but to corral it and finish, Dekure for 2. He's got a quick 9. That ends that 7-0 run, 57-21.
A couple of minutes ago, you were talking about Paradise Honors as one of the tougher teams coming up for the Knights. They're a 3A team that moved up to 4A this year, and Shadow Mountain actually already played them this year as a 3 goes in from number 3, Cashwell Scott. But Paradise Honors, the Panthers, beat Shadow Mountain 81-26 on my birthday, January 21st. Wow, it's raining 3s out here, Alex. Going nuts.
It's pouring outside, and the 3's pouring along for Garrison Phelps, number 2, with 2 fouls, 22 points in the night. Use a baseball term here, but deuce is wild there as the ball goes out of bounds. And as you mentioned, Paradise Honors taking the dominant victory on your birthday, the 21st day of 2021.
21st birthday.
There you go. I wasn't going to say it. Let you make that call. And actually, there's going to be a foul on Dekure. I believe that will be his 3rd. It indeed is. Actually, no, that's 4 on him.
No subs, though, through the first almost 5 minutes of this third quarter for the Knights. They've left their starters, or they've chosen to leave their starters out for the entirety of this third quarter so far.
Again, only a rotation of 9 today. Tough inbound as Jeremiah Cherry gets some jumping jacks in. 60-24 the score. Knights well in control of this one. Driving baseline, looking to finish, and a pass goes all the way out to Fontenette. He's got a chance to drive all the way, and they're going to call a foul on the floor before Fontenette can lay one in. And that's the second foul of the half on the Matadors.
You know, maybe part of the reason why the Matadors have not been in the game, as, you know, last year when these two teams played, the Knights only won one of their games by 13 points. The Shadow Mountain Matadors had a nice senior class last year, as they had Devon Cobbs and Ori Kadem, both seniors who were named to the All-Region second team, and they also had Shamar Morrow, a forward, who was an honorable mention for the Skyline 4A region.
So lost some talent. They've lost a lot of talent the past 2 seasons, and that pass goes to nobody and going to fall out of bounds. Like you mentioned, not necessarily sloppy play, but lackadaisical might be the word to describe St. Mary's so far this half.
There just doesn't seem to be, you know, they're not playing with too much aggression, whether that be on either end of the ball, specifically also on the defensive rebounding side of things as well.
Got a mass exodus for St. Mary's as 4 of the 5 starters head to the bench. Garrison Phelps going to stay with everybody else. Styles Phipps guarding the ball. And 2 big steps for the lay-in, no good. Rebound corralled by the Matadors, and a long jumper, no, by Turner. Gets his own miss. Kalen Johnson passes out to Cole for 3, 60-27.
You know, and there it is again, Alex. We talked about the lackadaisical play by the Knights. You know, 2 offensive rebounds for the Matadors is not something you're accustomed to seeing this Knights team give up on the defensive glass.
So Phipps with the basketball. Mendoza also in this game. Lillis tries to catch a pass, goes through his hands and out of bounds. Another man coming in, Seydou Tambora. Phelps with 22, everybody else on the floor with 2 apiece. We haven't seen St. Mary's really press so far this half. Score, I would assume, definitely a reason for that. A nice post move by Turner, can't finish. Rebound to Evan Garber. And then back out to Elijah Cole. Cole doing a nice job playing with 4 fouls all quarter. Puts up a 3 short. And fumble for the rebound. We're going to get a jump ball. We're going to stay right here. One minute, 32 seconds left in the third quarter. St. Mary's with all 5 timeouts left. 4 left for the Matadors. Entry pass into Cole. Cole has 11 points of the 27, and he turns it over. St. Mary's going to get the basketball. They're lineup number 2 in the ball game here. Chance for them to get, some playing time and see what they can do against an opponent. It's not themselves. So it's not like practice. You're not going to, know what's happening on the defensive side of the ball. A chance to face a real opponent and show you what you can do. And
it's nice to get that sort of experience, like you were saying, in a game-like setting, as Garrison Phelps is called for an offensive foul, not the and one there. But, as I'm saying, the second unit, it's really nice for them to get into game shape. We've talked about St. Mary's depth multiple times before. This is a good test for some of these guys on the end of the bench.
That's exactly right, and that's the 3rd foul on Garrison Phelps. It was an aggressive move to the basket, but Shadow Mountain getting the call. Trent Bradford gets hounded by a couple of Knights. Kalen Johnson guarded by Styles Phipps. And again, a lot of the offense for the Matadors has been on-ball screens. It's taken it to the rack, rebound by Tambora. Styles Phipps going to drive, a lob to Phelps, and that one goes through. A dangerous fall, but he's okay. And a nice lob there. First time we've seen that executed in quite a bit. Block shot on the other end by Tambora. Rebound goes to Shadow Mountain. Bradford bricks it, And what do you want to call that one, Chris? We calling this a wedgie? What is it?
I'm not sure what the correct term is there, but I just wanted to, comment. Definitely an interesting shot form from number 1 there, Trent Bradford. Almost a no real
Joakim
steadiness.
Noah-esque.
Exactly. Yeah. Joakim Noah. He was a real big two-hand, both on the ball guy.
Spin it.
Trent Bradford more of like a one-handed righty shot with no real protection from the left hand or steadiness.
More of a shot put action, I guess you could say.
Yes.
Nice pass, a little too hard from Garrison Phelps, and he looks to the bench for some words from his head coach. Some coaching, you would say. And out of bounds off the Matadors. St. Mary's going to get the ball with 3.4 remaining in this third. Way deep for 3, pulls up, had to. Just short on the shot from Mendoza, and that's how quarter number 3 ends. 62-27, St. Mary's with the lead. Now, again, some people would qualify and describe this fourth quarter as garbage time, but how can St. Mary's use this to get some momentum, compile it from the win they had on Wednesday against Brophy, heading into next week where they play Tempe on Tuesday, and then on Thursday, I believe they play Peoria.
Yeah, exactly. The schedule does not get easier going forward at any point during the season, as Coach Lopez has really emphasized scheduling a lot of these tough freedom games spread out throughout the season, not just at the beginning where they played Sunny Slope and Brophy back-to-back, but I'd like to see maybe a couple different lineup combinations from the Knights. They've gone with 4 guys in off the bench, replacing 4 of their starters, but maybe, just test running Isaac Mendoza or Styles Phipps with the starters, just to get some of that chemistry going. Like I said, in a game-like setting would be beneficial.
They're going to stay on with that second lineup on the floor, as well as Garrison Phelps. He's got 24 today, and in talking to Damon Lopez after yesterday's game, maybe wanted him to be a little bit more aggressive, and he's been aggressive today.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and especially in the absence of starting point guard KP Brown, he's usually the real facilitator of this team, and he was actually a great spot-up shooter for the Knights versus Brophy along the perimeter.
And we're going to get an and one for the Matadors.
But yeah, with him out, Garrison Phelps has really picked up that offensive production. He's shown a great stroke from the three-point line so far in tonight's game, and then obviously those great dunks and alley-oop getting out in transition.
Yeah, next week's schedule for St. Mary's, Tuesday at Tempe. That'll be at 5:30 right here on the We Are SM YouTube channel. Then home to Peoria on Thursday and home against Thunderbird, who they defeated in the first game as a three-point attempt by Mendoza, no good. That'll be on Friday, the 5th.
Bang! There he is. There he is. Trent Bradford, the form looked a little bit nicer, a little bit more fluid on that last shot compared to a couple of the other ones I saw.
Appreciate the attempted play-by-play there, Chris.
No problem. Happy to help.
We'll get a running clock with 6 minutes, 40 seconds and counting.
Only for my favorite players will I interject on you. Maybe an Isaac Mendoza 3 coming up. I'll throw him a bang maybe. Or, anything.
A whap.
Any Trent Bradford jumper that goes in, that's got to be some sort of exclamation.
Somehow keeps his foot on the floor. Did Styles Phipps. Nice deflection, and that's going to stay. Shadow Mountain basketball deflected by Mendoza. Now, let's talk about the shoes again, right?
Yeah.
Bradford has those pink shoes, and you're a bit of what you might call a sneakerhead. I obviously am not. I'm a one pair of shoes at a time kind of guy. But you have a load of them. Like, what do shoes mean to you, and why are they so valuable? Explain it to me, because I know nothing about it.
Yeah, I've got around, it might sound like an abnormal number, but around 40, maybe 50 pairs in my collection. But, I really got into it through my uncle. Shout out to, my Uncle Kevin. He gets mad that he may have given me a couple of valuable pairs in exchange for me mowing his yard. He says I didn't mow it quite enough times, but, a deal's a deal there. But yeah, the ones that have been passed down to me really do mean more than, the ones I've just bought online, that's for sure. And also, just staying on the topic, I'm looking around the floor. Not too many real, standouts besides Trent's. I'd even go as far to say as his are probably the best shoes on the course right now.
Just looking at it, looks like they're the only non-black and white shoes. As Styles Phipps going to go to the line for a potential and one.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we do have a running clock, 4 minutes 50 seconds and counting left in this fourth quarter. 64-32 the score. St. Mary's doubling up, and now more than doubling up. Shadow Mountain. Phipps has 5 now, and St. Mary's going to let lineup number 2 get some practice at that press. Oh, and a nice block, but he's called for the foul by the referee. Not even a half court yet.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was him who blew the whistle. It's kind of tough up here sometimes to see which ref is calling it due to the mass. You're not totally sure which whistle is being blown. But wow, I did not realize the ref made that call from half court again.
Kalen Johnson at the line makes free throw number 1. 65-33.
As long as he can see it better than the guy on the baseline.
2 of 2 from the line. And as we mentioned, St. Mary's averaging 63 points per game, 63.3 if you want to be exact on the season. Already past that mark. Styles Phipps for 3, pure, and he has 8 on the day. More of that pressure. Oh, Cash. That's Cash. Cash Scott for 3.
The Matadors have really picked up that 3-point production in the second half.
Oh, guess what we have here? Brendan Lillis for 3 in his first minutes, or his first game of the season. He's got 5. That one didn't touch any rim.
I'm telling you, he's got the shot. He might not look like your stereotypical shooter per se, but he really does have a nice stroke.
2-on-1 opportunity, nice move, and now Styles Phipps into double digits on the day, 73-37. Estrella back into the ball game, the lone starter in the game, and we're going to get an and one. That'll send Elijah Cole to the line. And we've talked about Cole. He got 4 fouls in that first half. He's played the entire second half, still has not fouled out.
He's done a really good job of not being overly aggressive on defense and being careful of picking up those unnecessary fouls. Like we said, 3 in the first half. So he really had to play with a little bit less aggression before halftime. But yeah, he's had a great game tonight.
Back iron no good from Cole. 2 minutes left exactly. Oh, Mendoza, just a little bit of butterfingers on that one. Goes out of bounds.
Before this game ends, we can give a shameless plug to our radio show, and due to the fact that we actually did talk about the St. Mary's Knights basketball team on
do on a regular basis. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so we have a show, the Bros at 10. It's airs on Arizona State's BlazeRadio.com.
BlazeRadioOnline.com.
And yeah, we regularly do talk about St. Mary's athletics, among other things, TV shows, college basketball, NFL trades, pretty much anything under the sun we'll talk about.
Oh, a nice move by Tambora. That's his 4th points of the game. 75-41 with 1:14 and counting left. Somebody falls down. No foul call. Finally get one on Brendan Lillis. And that will send, I believe, Kalen Johnson to the line once again.
And here's the main thing that I actually missed is when the show actually comes on.
That's a good point.
That might be an important detail for anyone who would like to tune in.
Why would it be called the Bros at 10, Chris?
Yeah, it's called the Bros at 10 because we were the coolest bros on the floor 10 floor of the Taylor Place dorm building in downtown Phoenix.
And by coolest, you mean only?
Yes, there definitely weren't that many bros on the floor, or just guys in general. But yeah, so bros at 10. It's kind of a double innuendo as our show also airs at 10 a.m. every Saturday morning. Did I use that term right? I believe so.
I'll let the listeners decide
Is that not
for
correct?
themselves.
Maybe that's wrong.
As Styles Phipps hits the three, he's got 13 on the day, 78-43.
Is that wrong? What does it mean if that's not the correct term?
Let's focus on basketball for the last 30 seconds. 78-43. Shadow Mountain with the basketball. I think, that one blocked into the second row of the bench by Tambor. I think what you were going for there is double entendre.
Oh, interesting. That would be correct. Yes, double entendre, figure of speech, or a particular way of wording that has two meanings.
There
you
you
would be
go.
correct there.
Rebound. Ooh, are we going to get some fireworks on the end? Styles Phipps for three. No good. 5 seconds and counting. That looks like that's how the ball game is going to end. We might get one more heave. That's not going to count. They do count it. Wow, I thought that wasn't going to get off. A nice attempt there. I believe that was Cash Scott with the three. Mm-hmm. Was indeed giving him 15 points on the day. And St. Mary's a 32-point victory.
Yeah, overall just a great game from the Knights. A really hot start to the game, specifically in that first half where they limited the Matadors to, I believe, 12 first half points. Kind of a slower start to the second half for the Knights, but they were able to get the job done and pick up another region win. They're hoping for a second consecutive region championship in this 2020-2021 season.
And they went 13-0 in the region last year, starting this year off 2-0 in the region. Again, 78-46 the final score. We'll have a little bit of a post-game show for you coming up in a little bit. Again, St. Mary's improves to 3-1 on this season. For Chris Ferendorf, I'm Alex Coyle. We'll be back after a quick break. All right, after a 78-46 victory, we have Jason Fontanet with us. A big win for you guys. That makes 2 in a row. How big was it, and what does it feel like to get that first winning streak of the season?
It feels good. We expect to go undefeated the rest. It feels good. We expect to go undefeated the rest of the season. Always come out with the mindset to dominate and just go through what we go in practice, go through it in the game.
You know, obviously a key region win here, Jason, your second. How important is it for the team to lock in for these region wins and secure a second consecutive Skyline Region championship this year?
Oh, for sure. We always want to dominate, and we want to kill every single team we play against, and obviously get the first seed and win the region.
Now, obviously, early on in the season, you've been the leading scorer for the St. Mary's team. What is it? What has been the key for that success early on for you?
Just trusting my game and staying confident. The coaching staff at St. Mary's always teaches me during practice different mechanics and techniques to make the game easier in game. So I just trust what I do in practice and what they teach me.
Obviously, another week of games, set for next week versus Tempe, and then kind of a revenge game possibly versus Peoria, who you guys fell to in the 4A state semifinals last year. How big are both of those games, and how tuned in is the team to that game versus Peoria?
Oh, we definitely want to come back and play our best game against them. Last year, obviously, we didn't play our best, so we want to come out and show that we're the best team in 4A.
That was Jason Fontanet after a big 78-46 victory. For my partner, Chris Ferendorf, I'm Alex Coyle. We thank you for watching. We'll be back on Tuesday for 5:30 tip-off at Tempe High School. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.